There are moments in life that split everything into a before and an after. Mine happened on a Monday morning when I opened the apartment door and came face to face with Raphael for the first time. I never thought hiring someone to paint my apartment would change everything, but there he was. My name is Lucas. I'm 28, a freelance graphic designer living in a one-bedroom in São Paulo. Until then, my life was pretty straightforward. Wake up, work from my laptop, avoid going out, avoid people. Especially after the breakup. I won't get into the details, but it left me with one solid belief. Don't open up. Don't trust anyone. But those gray walls were suffocating me. Every time I looked at that dead color, I saw my life staring back empty, trapped. I needed change. Something. Anything. Even if it was just new paint on the walls. Have you ever felt like you need to change something, anything, just to prove to yourself you're still alive? So I asked a friend for a recommendation. Got a name. Raphael, 32, self-employed, perfect reviews. I booked him without overthinking it. Raphael wasn't what I expected. Maybe I pictured someone older, rushed, who'd do the job and leave. But when I opened the door, it was different. He must have been about 6'2", a build shaped by years of manual labor, not the gym. Broad shoulders, defined arms, calloused hands that seemed to tell stories. A small scar cut across his right eyebrow. Short black hair, stubble. A plain white tee stretched across his chest, jeans stained with old paint. And when our eyes met, something happened. He didn't look away. He held my gaze for 2-3 seconds longer than expected. A subtle smile at the corner of his mouth. A firm, warm handshake. I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Real curiosity. "Lucas?" he asked, and I confirmed. "Nice to meet you. I'm Rafa. Your friend said you want to paint the whole place?" I showed him around. Gray walls needed to go white instead. You know, the stuff people say when they don't want to admit they're trying to paint over their past. Raphael took notes in a beat-up notebook, asking about finish and coats. All business, professional, reassuring. Until he stopped in front of the living room shelf and pointed at an old photo hanging on the wall. It was a picture of me with my ex. Me in front, smiling. Him behind with his arm across my shoulder. We'd gone to the coast that weekend. It was one of the last good moments before everything fell apart. "Someone special?" Raphael asked, casual but with direct eye contact. Why would a painter care about my personal life? I looked away. "He was," I said, trying to sound like it didn't matter. "Not anymore." Raphael nodded, as if he understood more than I'd said. He didn't push. He went back to measuring, calculated the quote, and we agreed he'd start on Wednesday that week. Half payment up front, half at the end. Simple, professional. But after he left, I stood in the living room replaying that question. Someone special? Why did it bother me so much? Why did this random painter get under my skin? Those 2 days dragged forever. But the quiet was just the calm before everything shifted. When Raphael finally arrived, right on the dot at 8 in the morning, he brought ladders, drop cloths, paint buckets, brushes, rollers. He turned my living room into a construction site. I tried to work in the bedroom, but concentrating was impossible. I heard the roll sliding on the wall, the sharp smell of fresh paint filling every room. Around 11, I left the bedroom to get some water. Raphael was facing away, painting the largest wall in the living room, shirtless. The heat explained it, sure, but I wasn't ready for that. Broad back, muscles moving with each stroke of the roller, sweat trailing down his neck, down his spine, catching the light. Fresh paint mixed with something else, something real. The light carved every line of him into shadow and definition. I froze in the doorway, watching, my heart pounding. I shouldn't have been looking, but I was. "You good?" Raphael asked without turning. Fuck. He'd caught me in the window reflection. "Just getting water," I said, moving to the sink. "Grab me one?" He turned, that half smile and dark eyes fixed on me. I filled 2 glasses, brought one over. Our fingers touched, passing the glass. Electric. A jolt up my entire arm. Accidental? He held the eye contact, didn't look away. 2 seconds, 3. Then he drank the whole thing in one long pull, his throat working. Handed the glass back, still watching me. I went back to the bedroom, but that touch burned the whole way there. "Thanks," he'd said. "You work from home, right?" "Yeah, graphic design. Freelance." "Nice. Must be nice to be able to work in your pajamas." I looked at myself. I was in sweatpants and an old t-shirt. Not exactly pajamas, but close. "It's comfortable," I agreed, laughing awkwardly. "I could never," Raphael said, leaning against the wall. "I need to move. Sitting still makes me lose my mind." Over the next few days, a weird routine formed. Raphael showed up early, worked shirtless most of the time, and I pretended to work while mostly just watching. Not obvious about it. Not creepy. But I'd find excuses, coffee, bathroom just to check on him. Then I realized something. He was watching too. I caught him watching me through the bedroom door. When our eyes met, he didn't look away immediately. Just held it for a couple seconds, then went back to work like nothing happened. It was driving me insane. What was this? Was I making it up? Reading into things because I was desperate, lonely, too broken? I tried to tell myself it was imaginary, all in my head, until Friday afternoon. What he did that day changed everything. Raphael took a break and came into the kitchen where I was making coffee. "Can I ask you something?" he said, leaning in the doorway. "Sure." "Have you ever painted something just to cover up what was underneath?" The question hit me sideways. This wasn't about paint. "What are you asking?" Raphael shrugged. "Just... we cover stuff up, make it look different, but inside, same mess. You know?" I knew, and that terrified me because it meant he could see through me, through all the walls I'd built, through every "I'm fine" I'd claimed. "I think so," I answered slowly. "But maybe covering is the first step, even if inside it's still a mess." He smiled, not professional, real, almost sad. "Yeah, maybe." We stood in that heavy silence until he went back to work. But something shifted. This was never about paint. That night I couldn't sleep. Every look, every word replaying over and over. Was he flirting? Was I losing it? He was so direct, confident. Not the obvious type I usually noticed. But there was something. This pull between us. I had no idea how much that attraction would cost. Ever pretended so hard you almost believed it? That was me. Just casual interest, I told myself. Those looks meant nothing. My body wasn't reacting every time he entered a room. On Friday, he brought up the ex again. "When did you break up?" Raphael asked while painting the bedroom. I was sitting on the bed, pretending to review a project. "About 4 months ago." "Was it hard?" "Very." He stopped painting and turned to me. "I broke up 6 months ago with someone I thought would be forever. Someone, not a woman, not a guy. Someone." "How was it?" I asked, keeping my voice level. "Complicated," Raphael said, facing the wall. His voice dropped. Got quieter. We hid. Not from everyone, but from the people that mattered. And eventually hiding became too heavy for the love. At least that's what he said. My heart was racing. The air felt heavy. This wasn't about just any relationship. He was telling me something. About him. Maybe about me. "Do you still love him?" I asked before I could stop it. Raphael paused. The roller stopped moving. Then, "Sometimes we hide from what we actually want, you know? And when we finally figure it out, it's gone." He looked at me again. That look. Direct, intense, loaded with something I couldn't name but felt on my skin. Fear, hope, desire. All mixed together. I should have said something. Anything. But I was mute. And the moment passed. I spent Friday night kicking myself for missing that moment. For not being brave enough. For being scared. On Saturday, Raphael showed up earlier than usual. I was thinking of working late today, he said. I want to finish the room, if you don't mind. Sure, no problem. We worked. Well, he worked and I pretended to work, until the sun went down. When it got dark, I turned on the apartment lamps. The warm light cast soft shadows on the freshly painted walls. The smell of paint was everywhere, but somehow it had become comforting. Want a beer? I offered when Raphael finished cleaning the brushes. He hesitated. You sure? I don't want to be a nuisance. You're not a nuisance. We sat on the living room couch, the only finished room. The white walls reflected light different now. Cleaner. I felt vulnerable and safe at once. Why the paint job? Raphael asked. A reset, I said, being honest. I wanted to cover what was there before. Is it working? Don't know yet. I looked at my glass. Sometimes I wake up still expecting him here. Or worse, I wake up not wanting him anymore, but I don't know who I am without that hurt. Raphael looked at the fresh walls. Sometimes changing outside stuff helps you process inside, but it doesn't fix everything. Sounds like experience. Yeah. He took another sip. His hand shook slightly. After we split, I moved. Thought changing where I lived would change how I felt, but the loneliness came along. It always does when we're running from ourselves. That hit hard. Loneliness. The thing I wouldn't say but lived with every day. It sucks, right? I said. You break up and everyone's like, it gets better, time heals. But nobody mentions the worst part isn't missing them. It's the fear. Of what? Trying again. Trusting again. Opening up and getting destroyed the same way. My voice cracked. Fear that you're too broken to feel anything real anymore. Raphael looked at me with this intensity that made me want to look away. I didn't. Because if anyone could get it, it was him. I get it, he said quietly. His voice wavered. I'm scared too. Scared of being rejected for who I actually am. Scared of not being enough. Scared someone will look at me and only see the surface, the working guy, the paint stains, not what's actually there underneath. Silent for 3 seconds that felt like forever. Something raw in his voice. Vulnerability. Truth. Anyone who can't see what's underneath, I said slow, is too stupid to deserve you. He smiled, but it was sad, tired. Hope so. We sat quiet. When he left, it was past 11. At the door, he stopped. I'll finish tomorrow, he said, if you want me to come back. The double meaning was obvious, not about paint. I want you to, I said, holding his eyes. He nodded and left. I closed the door, leaning against it, heart pounding. What was this between us? I didn't have an answer yet, but it was coming. And it would change everything. Saturday night dragged forever, replaying every word, every look, every touch. What was real? What I was making up? When I finally slept, I dreamed of calloused hands and half smiles. Sunday was different. Hot. Tense. Raphael arrived at noon, no shirt this time. He worked fast, focused, like he was trying to finish for a reason. Around 3, he stopped, wiped his hands on a rag and came to the living room where I was on the couch. Done, he said. Already? Yeah, looks good. Come see. I followed him to the room. The white walls caught the light different now. Bigger, airier, fresh. Perfect, I said. Yeah. He stood there watching me. Something in his stance was different, nervous, hopeful. Can I ask something? He said. Yeah. Can I use your shower? It's crazy hot and my place is far, but only if you're cool with the door open. I get claustrophobic in a closed shower. Time stopped. Door open. This meant something. Nobody asks that by accident. Go ahead, I said, my voice rough. He nodded, took a towel, and went to the bathroom. Water started. I stood in the living room, my heart in my chest. The door was ajar. Steam spilled out. I could hear the water, picture him without looking. What should I do? Go in? Stay? Was this an invitation? Or was I reading it all wrong? I sat, trying to breathe. Picked up my phone, put it down, breathed. The water kept running. Each second felt like an hour. My mind made images I didn't ask for. My body did things I couldn't control. 10 minutes. Pure torture. Then it stopped. He was drying off. I heard the towel against skin. Then the door opened and he stepped out. Towel around his waist. Wet hair dripping. Water running down his chest. His abs disappearing under the towel. He stood in the doorway and looked at me. I was on the couch. Frozen. Couldn't look away. Couldn't breathe. "Thanks for the towel," he said. "Welcome." Silence. Heavy. Electric. Charged. "Lucas," he said, stepping closer. "I need to tell you something." "Yeah." "I'm not as straight as I look." The world went still. From day one, I could tell you weren't either. And it confused me because I was supposed to be working, not feeling this. But every day with you, every conversation, every look. He breathed deep. His voice dropped. "Fuck, Lucas. I can't stop thinking about you." I couldn't speak. My throat was closed, just staring at him. The words I wanted to hear but never expected. "If I'm wrong, I'm sorry," he said. His hand gripped the towel. His voice shook, raw, exposed. "If you don't feel anything, I'll stop, pack up, and we pretend this didn't happen." But I had to say it. I'm tired of hiding. Tired of being scared. Tired of being half of who I could be. I stood up slowly. Each step felt endless. Stopped a few inches from him. I could feel his heat radiating across the gap between us. The soap from my bathroom mixed with something else. Something only his. "You're not wrong," I said. My voice came out low. Rough. A whisper. "Not wrong at all." He closed his eyes. I watched his jaw relax. His shoulders drop the weight, like he'd been holding it forever and could finally breathe. When he opened them again, something shifted. Hope. Fear. Relief. All at once. "I'm tired of being scared too," I said, my hands shaking. "Tired of the gray walls and empty place. But I'm terrified, Rafa. Terrified of opening up and getting hurt again. Terrified this is too real. And real means it could destroy me." "I won't hurt you," he said, reaching slowly and touching my face. Gentle. Careful. "Not if you don't want me to." "What if I want to try?" "Then we try. No pressure, no rush. We go as slow as you need." I leaned my forehead against his. We both closed our eyes, just breathing together. A moment that felt eternal and too short at the same time. "I don't want this to be just tonight," he whispered. "It's not," I said. "Won't be." He smiled. I felt it against my skin. Real. Warm. Then slowly, he kissed me. Soft. Hesitant. Like remembering something we'd forgotten. His calloused hands held my face with a gentleness that didn't match the strength in them. I held his waist, felt the damp towel, felt his skin beneath. The outside world disappeared. Just us. That moment. Those white walls. We pulled away breathless, silent, foreheads still touching, breathing the same air. "Stay," I asked. "I have to go," he said, reluctant. "Work early tomorrow. But I'll come back. If you want. I want. Tomorrow night? Tomorrow night." He dressed slowly, like leaving hurt. At the door, we kissed again. Urgent. Desperate. When he finally left, I stayed against the closed door, touching my lips, still tasting him. The white walls seemed to glow, and for the first time in months, I could breathe. In the days after, he came back. Not to paint. Nothing left to paint. But he came back. Because he wanted to. Because I wanted him to. And that's when the real test started. Can perfect hold up to reality? Coffee at the kitchen table. We talked. About everything, nothing. He told me about growing up outside São Paulo. About figuring out he liked guys at 18, hiding for years. about a relationship that ended because he couldn't come out publicly. I told him about my ex, the betrayal, how it closed me off, the fear of never trusting again. Trust is a choice, he said, holding my hand. Scary choice. But sometimes you have to choose scared. Otherwise, you're stuck forever. I'm choosing you, I said. Then choose. I'm choosing you too. And we chose. Every day we chose. But it wasn't fairy tales. Wasn't perfect. We fought. We doubted. Nights when I woke up sweating from nightmares about my ex, and he held me until I stopped shaking. Days when he was distant, working through his own stuff, and I had to learn that wasn't rejection. But there were good moments. Mornings tangled together. The outside world less scary. Afternoons he'd stop by just to see me for 15 minutes. Nights cooking together, laughing at inside jokes, building something that felt like home. And those moments were bigger than the fear. A month later, we were in bed, staring at the white ceiling. Know what's funny? I said. What? I painted this apartment to forget, but the painting brought you, and now I don't want to forget any of it. He turned to face me. So don't. Keep it. I'm keeping it too. Promise? Promise. After that, the apartment changed. Extra toothbrush in the bathroom, his clothes in my closet, his smell on the sheets. Every little sign of him made me smile. The apartment was ours now, and ours meant more than I thought it would. But not everything was easy. Stares when we held hands in public, deciding what to tell family. Raphael feared losing clients. I still had scars that hurt, but we were trying. Together. A few weeks later, we were on the couch watching something. His head in my lap, my hand in his hair. You happy? He asked suddenly. I had to think about it. Yeah, it's not like fireworks happy. It's quiet. I wake up and you're here, and I think it's all okay. That's all. It's okay. He smiled. Yeah, it's okay. You? With you? Yeah, really happy. He looked like a man who stumbled in with paint cans and ended up becoming the one I choose every day. I love you, I said. First time. He sat up facing me, both hands on my face. I love you too. Like I've never loved anyone. We kissed. No fear, no doubt, just certainty. Later in the dark, he broke the silence. I've been thinking. About what? Moving in, with you, if you want. My heart jumped. You want to move in? Yeah. I know it's fast. If you think it's too soon, we wait. But I wake up at my place, and all I think about is coming back here. Because you're here. That's where I want to be. I was quiet. Processing. It was fast. 2 months together. Any shrink would say it's too soon. But looking at him, I just knew. I want that, I said. I want you here. I want to wake up with you. I want to build this. He smiled in the dark. I could see the shine in his eyes. Tears. Then we do it, he said. Really try. No fear? Scared. Trying anyway. We held tight. Something inside settled, like finally fitting. The weeks after, he brought his stuff bit by bit. Not much, he was minimalist. But each thing felt like a statement. We're doing this. And building isn't easy. Learning to share space. He woke early, I stayed up late. He was neat, I was messy. He wanted quiet mornings, I wanted to talk. Small fights, small adjustments. But there were beautiful moments too. First time cooking together, we burned dinner, but laughed so hard we got pizza instead and ate on the kitchen floor. He taught me to paint a wall. I ended up with more paint on me than the wall. Nights just talking about dreams, fears. What's next? 3 months in, I got home from a meeting and found him cooking. Hey, love, he said, kissing me. Hey, love. The word just fit now, not forced, just true. How'd it go? Got the project. Knew you would. You're really good. I smiled. Those small moments caught me off guard. Dinner together, talking about our day. Washing dishes side by side. Domestic. Normal. But special, because it was him. Later, in bed, he pulled me close. "You know what I noticed?" he said. "What?" "We don't talk about the past anymore. The hurt stuff. We just live." He was right. Somewhere along the way, my ex stopped being this constant thing. The wounds healed, not because I forgot, but because there was something better. Now. The future. Us. "Yeah," I said. "We're actually living. And it's good. It's really good." He kissed my forehead. "I love you. And I mean it every time. You made me believe again. In love, in tomorrow. Everything." My eyes stung. "You did the same. I was gone. You brought me back." "We saved each other?" "Yeah. We lay there until sleep came. No nightmares. Just good dreams. Safe dreams." Months passed. 6 months. 8 months. Each day had challenges and good stuff. And the biggest challenge was the world. I introduced him to my mom. She didn't know I liked guys. But when she saw us together, she got it. Not right away, but she came around, and he won her over with patience. Meeting his family. His dad was hard, disapproving looks, silence. But his mom hugged us and said she just wanted him happy. He was happy. You could see it. A client saw us kissing on the street. He worried about losing work. He didn't. He said it would have been worth it anyway. Because hiding wasn't an option anymore. We had a brutal fight over something stupid I don't even remember. He left. I thought that was it. But he came back. We both apologized. We learned fighting doesn't mean done. It means we need to talk, adjust, grow. And good days. Days we woke up and just knew we'd chosen right. Days he came home tired and I made his favorite pasta. Days I was stressed and he rubbed my shoulders and said it'd be okay. Normal days that felt special because we were together. Those days, I learned, are real life. Not the perfect moments. The messy ones. The real ones. A year after that shower, we were on the couch in those white walls he painted. "Remember the first day?" I asked. "Yeah. You looked like you didn't want to talk to anyone." I laughed. "Exactly." I asked about that photo. "That's when I knew you weren't just another painter. And you weren't just another job." I looked around. Still white, but full now. Photos of us. Art we bought. His books. My books. "Thank you," I said. For showing up, having the guts to say what you felt, staying when it was hard, making me believe again. He pulled me closer. "Thank you for letting me in, taking a chance on us." We kissed. Different from the first one, but the same. Same tenderness, same promise. "You know what's weird?" he said. "What?" "I came to paint your walls, but you painted inside me, changed everything." I smiled. "You painted me too, from gray to white, from dead to alive." "We a painting? We're a masterpiece," he laughed. The sound filled our apartment, our life. Lying there tangled, I thought about how weird life is. A paint job that became everything. Someone walks in by chance and changes you. But maybe it's not chance. Maybe it's being open, willing to risk, to trust, to choose even scared. That's what I did. Chose to trust, chose the risk, chose him. He chose me. And that choice, every day, made all the difference. If you're reading this and you know that fear opening up again, trusting again, risking after getting hurt, I get it. The fear doesn't go away. It whispers that alone is safer. But what if the right person is waiting on the other side? Looking at these white walls now, I don't see a lonely restart. I see the beginning of us. The day a guy with calloused hands and a real smile knocked and changed everything. The day he asked to shower with the door open, and I said yes. The day we chose to be scared together instead of alone. And I see the future, painting it day by day, together. Sometimes the right person shows up at the right time, with paint-stained clothes, asking real questions, saying the right thing at exactly the right moment, and when they do, you just open the door. Let them in. Let them paint your life again. With colors you didn't know existed. With love you thought was gone. With hope you'd lost. He turns to me now, on this couch, in this life we built, and smiles. "What are you thinking?" he asks. "You. Us. How close I came to letting fear win. But you didn't. Because you didn't. He kisses my forehead. We didn't. Together. Together. That word feels different now. Not scary. Comforting. Together, we learned fresh starts aren't about erasing. They're about using what happened to build something better. Together, we learned white walls are blank. And we're the artists. Together, we learned fear doesn't disappear. But courage can be bigger. Together, we keep going. Day by day. Choice by choice. Painting our story. With colors of love, trust, hope. And those I found are the most beautiful. Ever asked yourself what you're hiding from? Who you'd be if you put fear down for one moment? Tell me. Have you ever had the guts to risk even scared? Or are you still waiting for certainty before you open the door?